and welcome back to FiddleUP. I am Emerald Ray, and today we're going to learn Liza Jane. Now, this is an old-time tune, but you may have noticed it had a lot of Celtic flavor when I was playing it, the fast version there. And so you're going to see a lot of tunes that are called Liza Jane, Little Liza Jane, Lil Liza Jane, all those kind of things. So there's a whole bunch of different versions of this tune and of this song as well. And this is the version that you'll often find in contra dance circles. So that's why we have a little bit of northern skippity-dippy Celtic flavor in there. It's a little bit different. And so contra dancing is like northern square dancing. It's pretty much the same thing, just with some different variations. So you have square dancing in the southeast, and then as you go into the northeast, into New England, we have contra dancing, which is based on the same kind of quadrille structure, you know, the square. It's still a square. But it has a lot more elements of Celtic dancing that don't exist quite so much in the southern old-time circles. And you know, it's just based on who moved there, you know, and what cultures got mixed in, and all of these different factors. So contra dancing is just another type of square dancing, and it's done all over the US and Canada, and is its own kind of thriving thing. And so we play in contra dancing, we play a whole bunch of old-time tunes, a whole bunch of Celtic tunes. It's kind of whatever you want to play. It's a little bit almost kind of international in places, because there's certainly bands that bring in a lot of different world musics, different folk musics from around the world. So it's just a little bit different. It's kind of a separate form of square dancing. And so this is a tune. This version of this tune is this version of this tune. You might run into somebody else that says, "Oh, I know Liza Jane," and they might play it totally differently, because there's several different versions of this tune, if not many. And that is how folk music and fiddle music works. There are tons of different versions of a lot of tunes, so that's pretty standard. So you're gonna run into that as you get into it. And sometimes there's a different version of a certain tune for each fiddler. Sometimes, you know, there's just tunes that everybody flavors a little bit differently. And so as you get into stylizing your own tunes and taking your own artistic liberties with these tunes, this is gonna, you know, feel less overwhelming and a lot more fun for sure. So this tune is in A major. Now you can play this tune in a cross tuning. You could do A, E, A, E if you wanted to. It would work out just fine. We're not going to do that today. We did that for the Candy Girl video that you can go check out if you want to learn how to cross tune and learn a tune in A, E, A, E tuning. Then I would suggest you to go check it out. And then if you want to come back and learn this tune, you can put this tune in that tuning as well. You just have to change a couple of the fingers on the D string, but that'll be pretty obvious once you get there. So I would highly recommend trying that if you've already done the cross tuning thing and you want to add another tune to your cross tune repertoire. This tune would fit perfectly fine, as well as many other tunes that are in A, mostly on the top 2 strings or the top 3 strings. So we're going to start off on the top here. So we have A on the top, your 3rd finger on your E string, down to the 1st finger, that's your F sharp, and then open E. And then we're going to go down to your C sharp on your A string. So, and as you can notice, I'm going to go ahead and just hit both of those strings, because, you know, you can separate it out, but it doesn't make much sense separated out. It sounds really boring. And as you've learned quite a few beginner tunes, I think you're ready to just get into that double stopping action, because especially in old-time music, you're never playing one string. In old time, you're always playing multiple strings. It's very chordal like that. So it's time to get used to it. So we'll play A, F sharp, E, C sharp. And then back up to the E. So that's open E, back down to the C sharp, or your 2nd finger on the A string. And then we'll just hop down to the B there for a second. That's the first finger on your A string. And then open A. So that's E, C sharp, B, C sharp, A. And I'm keeping my bowing nice and steady there with a little slur. So that's down, up, 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 down. All right, so we've got the first phrase here. We'll play. Try that again. Got it? Nice and easy. The next phrase is. So now we're really digging into these pulsing bows. If you haven't done a pulsing bow yet, I'm sure you've done one so far, but just to redirect you to the technique section, I have a whole video on how to do the pulsing bow there, but we'll go along here. So we're starting off on the A, high A on the E string. So that's 3, 4, 3, and then 1 open. So A, B, A, F sharp, E. And then we'll add that C sharp on the bottom with a pulse. So that's C sharp, second finger on the A string, and I'm going to pulse into it. So that's a nice long slur there. And then down, up with the pulse. And now to end, we're going to just do a nice double stop with your F sharp or first finger on your E string. So again, I have the open A going here. I'm playing the two top strings together pretty much the whole time. So there we go. So let's play all that together. So I did a little bit of a different bowing than I said that I was going to. So when you do this bowing, you're going to wind up on a big up bow on your second phrase, and I'm just slurring all the way through. So it doesn't actually change it too much. It doesn't really change the feel, but that's good to know. So just try to watch my bow and figure it out. You can also do different bowing. You don't have to do the same bowing. If you don't want to, you can decide. You're in the driver's seat. So let's try that again. There we go. And now we're going to continue on with the first phrase again. Right bowing this time. We're going to go into the last phrase. So this is a really very satisfying little phrase here. So I'm going to go B, C sharp on my A string, first finger, second finger. And just hop up to the E. So that's B, C sharp, E, C sharp, and then I'm going to go down to the first finger on the A string again. Open A, F sharp, second finger on the D string. And then I'm going to add my double stops in. And so I'll start that on an up bow here so you can see what it's going to be like in real life. I don't think that's what I do. Hold on. Okay. I'm slurring all the way through here. But again, you don't have to do what I'm doing. I might be making a little bit more fancy than is necessary because I'm just in a fancy bow mood today. Who knows? The whole point of the exercise is I'm trying to get to a big down bow on those last. So you kind of have to orchestrate your bowing so that you're getting to the important down bows. That's kind of the whole point of bowing. It's just making sure you're in the right spot to do a big, strong down bow. So whatever you do, as long as you... There we go. So we have the whole A part now. Let's go ahead and play the whole thing nice and slow. We have the whole A part there, so let's move swiftly along to the B part, which is really easy. It's nice, it's a good jamming B part. It just is very satisfying. So the B part sounds like this. That again. So it's just very easy going. So we have a C sharp and an open E. So it's easy so those are some long notes, and sometimes it can get a little weird trying to figure out how long those notes are. The easiest way is actually to go back to the song, because this tune is technically a song. So if you sing the song, the lyrics of the chorus, oh dear Liza, oh dear Liza Jane, oh dear Liza, oh dear Liza Jane. That is the rhythm that we're going for here. So we're gonna sing, oh dear Liza, oh dear Liza Jane. Oh dear Liza, oh dear Liza Jane. Sounds like this. Oh dear Liza, oh dear Liza Jane. Oh dear Liza, oh dear Liza Jane. You see how that works? So you don't have to sing it and play it at the same time unless you want to, obviously. If you're preparing yourself for the fiddle singing course, then you'll want to give that a try. But not required. If you're just thinking it in your head, it will come out of your fiddle. So we'll start on the C sharp. We have 2, 2, 1, A, or C sharp, B, A, C sharp, B, A, F sharp, second finger on the D string. And then we can do a little pickup there. So that's just a E, F sharp, A, C sharp, or a 1, 2 on the D string, and then hop up to the A. Open A, C sharp. So this phrase sounds like this. One more time. And then we'll go into the next phrase. Okay, so we have a B, or first finger on the A string. And I'm just hopping up to my second finger, or my C sharp right there. And then C sharp, B, A, F sharp, A. So that's 2, 1, A, 2 on the D, A. Okay, so there is a pickup after that we'll do right now. So it's... Or you can play whatever you want to do there. If you want to make it a little bit fancier, I'm trying to keep it simple. But we'll start off with your E string, your E note on your D string. And so E, F sharp, and then hop up to the A, C sharp. So that same phrase, that same second phrase sounds like this. That's going into the repeat of that. So if this is getting confusing so far, well, I just want to go over the bowing right here on the second phrase. Doing a nice pulse there. Okay, so let's start from the beginning of the B part so you can see how this all fits together, because it's kind of, these parts are so simple and similar that it's a little easy to get confused. So let's start from the top of the B part. And then we'll go down to the B, or the first finger on the A string. And now we're at the repeat. And then down to the B again. And then from there you would go back into the A part again. So there we have it. We are through the B part. Let's make sure we do that continuously without me talking. I will shut up this time and we can play the whole B part together. There we go. Excellent. Cool. All right, so let's play this whole tune together nice and slow. So we're going to start off with your and then we'll play. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There we are. That's the whole tune. Very well done. It's a nice quick one for today. And so talking about how to fancy up this tune, you know, you can make this, obviously make it faster and then put some stylistic stuff in it. Like I was demonstrating in the beginning part of the video, I kind of Celtify this tune. I mean, I Celtify a lot of things. I'm a Celtic fiddler, you know, that's my background. That's where I come from. And so, you know, you can take a lot of liberties with mixing up the genres here. And in this tune, I have a really hard time not putting those twiddly diddly Celtic bits in here. Probably because I did get it from the contra dance scene, and that's kind of what we do. There's a lot of fusion-y kind of things that happen. So, you know, if you're playing contra dance music, you know, you could be playing a little Celtic music, a little old time, a little reggae, you know, whatever you want to do. So with tunes that are in the contra dance repertoire, it's really hard for me to have any limits in terms of what genre are we in today. But I'll show you a little bit of what I was doing in case you're interested in fusion kind of stuff. So I was adding some trills in, which you wouldn't normally do in old time. Old time is a lot simpler, and they don't not do trills, but they're just they're a little different. So they do kind of more slides. So one slide I was doing, and that's going down to the C sharp and just sliding down through the C natural. And it just kind of bluesifies it a little bit, and you can also do a little slide on that B part too. It's just me sliding up on my C sharp there. So you do want to be careful with that one. I feel like it's cool for a second, but it can sound a little bit like a choo-choo train if you do too much. So maybe just a little bit in the beginning and then do something else. You can also just, you know, you can just kind of hammer on with your second finger. And that'll give you kind of the same effect without the slide. But, you know, I'm a slide girl. I love putting slides everywhere. But I do notice that after a while, you're like, this might be a little corny at this point. It might be referencing something else that I'm not meaning to reference. So as fun as they are, you don't necessarily want to put them in every single place. So there's some slides there. So if you're playing old time music, you know, slides would be the thing to do. If you want to add some trills and some other things, I tend to do that on this tune. There, we're getting into some other territory there. That's still kind of American, you know, that kind of might be a little bit more bluegrassy. So that was too much. That was just me throwing the kind of the kitchen sink in there. But when you're starting to do ornamentation and stylize your tunes, you actually do want to try to throw the kitchen sink in there, and then you will fall into some things that you normally do. And so it's always good to keep building repertoire. It's good to be able to get to the point where you can throw the kitchen sink in like that. And, you know, you don't, for the purposes of this video, that was just for demonstration, just so you know. That's not, I wouldn't go that crazy if I was playing this at a dance. That would be too fast. I wouldn't go that crazy if I was playing this at a concert. It would be less tasteful than I would normally do. So you want to let the tune speak for itself, but you also want to ornament in a way that kind of makes sense for the situation. So yeah, just adding things, I would say go ahead and add in too much, and then at a certain point you'll go, yep, that's too much. It's either too much to pull off in the moment, or it's just too much musically. So, and you're going to have to decide what that is on your own. So go ahead and, check out the technique in the ornamentation section, and go ahead and check out all of those tricks, and start throwing some things in, and then you'll be starting to develop your own musical style, which is always a good thing to do, even in the beginning. As I always say, it's never too early, even though you're in the beginner course. It's never too early to start working on these tunes and making them your own. It's your job to be your own person in folk music. So nobody's gonna spoon feed you all of the things that you need to know, and all the things that you need to do to develop your own style. You got to figure it out on your own. So good luck on your journey, and I will see you in the next video.